Welcome back to Tenaris Adventures. When I was visiting Brazil this spring, I got a chance to sit down with 5 employees from Dragori Games, and I asked them a series of questions to all of them to get a better idea of who they are and what interests them in developing a deep game like Tenaris Adventures and a massive world like Tenaris RPG. I hope this look into the people of Dragori gives you a better insight into what drives these guys into developing dungeon crawler board games and RPG adventures. Welcome to part 3 of my series. Today we have Michael, the lead designer for Dragori Games, and man, Michael, he's such a great guy. We spent many late nights talking game design ideas, reasoning behind things, making corrections. He's truly a very passionate individual, especially in regards to the game and the community. He's always trying to make sure that we have successfully accomplished all of the promises that Dragori has made, and even trying to give back a little bit more than what originally was promised. And of course, giving the fans something that they'll remember forever and be able to enjoy for many years. Michael is definitely very much a pillar of the Dragori Games team, and without his strong leadership in terms of game design, I know they'd be in a much more difficult position. Anyway, this is Michael's interview. I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, welcome. Thanks for doing this interview.
Sure.
So, the first question is, what's your name and what's your role at Dragori Games?
I'm Michael Alves. I am the lead game designer for Dragori Games.
Awesome. So what was your job before working here at Dragori?
As a game designer, I have worked as head developer for Michael Games, and I also had my own company, Arcano Games, where I was the director and I did game design for.
All right. So what are your interests outside of gaming?
Kind of hard because my life runs around games, so I believe there is nothing much.
That's fine. That's fine. So what are your favorite games or RPG products?
Well, from board games, I really like some heavy games like New Haven, Terra Mystica, and other Euro-style games, but also Descent and other Imperial Assault, other more Ameritrash-like games, so I like them both. From an RPG standpoint, I played and DM'd RPG my whole life, so I really like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder First Edition, and Pathfinder Second Edition is also really cool design. But I mostly play D&D. I play Storyteller, GURPS, and many other products, but my favorite for RPGs are still Dungeons and Dragons.
All right. Any other video game favorites?
Yeah, well, I play a lot of things. Like I played a lot of Blizzard games, so World of Warcraft was pretty hardcore on World of Warcraft before, and doing high-end content rating, mythic rating as a hit leader. And I also played Overwatch, Counter-Strike, many competitive games. I enjoy them a lot.
Awesome. What do you enjoy about working for Dragori?
It's a really good experience because we have very difficult challenges, provide something really unique and a design that we struggle so hard to create the best we can. So the best thing here is that people are all compromised to doing the best game they can. Everyone is very patient about doing the polishing the game, and we discuss a lot of things, and we have some brilliant minds here. So it's really cool to work somewhere where you see people that really are challenge you mentally, like you can discuss things and really change your opinion because there's also very talented people that know what they're doing. So that's amazing.
Awesome. So what is your favorite Dragori product or game mode or mechanic, past or future?
There is many things I like. Like, for example, I believe Tenaris is a game I enjoy a lot playing. Like I can, even with the much time I spend doing work with it, every time I play, time still fly like the last stream we made, like it was 4 hour stream, and for me looked like oh, it was 15 minutes, half an hour. The sensation, obviously I knew that it was longer, but the sensation was like that because I really enjoy playing Tenaris. So there's also Dragon Collection boss versus boss mode. It's really enjoyable playing one against one on that mode, as it's pretty brainy. It's a bit heavier game than original Arena, but that's a
Yeah.
very different experience. I really enjoy playing it.
Awesome. What do you think the fans will enjoy the most about Tenaris Adventures?
It's hard to say, but I believe how different the quests are and how unique you feel that each quest play out. The story is great, the uh, art is amazing, and you will feel immersed in the quests, and you feel that each quest is unique. We strived so hard to make them uh, not like other crawlers where quests are just the same pieces organized in certain ways. We try to create something different, like each quest being unique, having a different way for you to play that quest. So you always have something new. Oh no, this quest works totally different than last one, and I believe people will enjoy that.
Awesome. Um, what is the greatest challenge in your job?
There's many challenges, as we work a lot to try to create something that is pretty well polished. I believe the worst thing is nitpicking small problems, finding solutions for small things that appear during design process, and really doing this last final polishing, finishing the game, because you always think, oh, but there is this, we could improve the game, and you go back to drawing board, but this would improve it, would be better for the backers, and then but then we need to do this and that to improve the game. So it's hard to finally pack everything up and close everything. So it's a difficult challenge, but it's a good experience. It's fun, and I believe all this work will entail for a very polished end of the game. So
Awesome. What intellectual property would you like to see Dragori develop a board game or RPG for, or what product would you like to see the company go next?
oh, then there is many interesting things that things that we are already kind of working, and things that will uh, I would really enjoy that we could work in the future. Um, for an IP, an external IP, I believe I'm a real huge fan of Blizzard, so something Warcraft like would be like a dream project to work on. So I would be find that very cool.
Okay. Um, so, what was the philosophy for the RPG? What type of dungeon master and players did you guys have in mind when designing it?
The idea for the RPG was to bring the new content, to bring things that are really usable, like Midwalker, the Dragon Blade, things that were outside of what the other classes normally do. Um, it was all thought based on more on a player perspective than anything else for the classes, because they are meant to be played for by players, while monsters are designed to be DM, with the DM in mind. So the classes, the core concept on the game design for them was to bring something new, cool, and be powerful without breaking the balance of the game. So we try to stay in the high curve of that, like if the class that fits the IR balance to be like good classes, and not like the ones that we know are a bit struggling in comparison to the to others. So with that, that was important part of it, And for monsters, is to give unique abilities, unique things our DM can take a look at a monster and think, oh, this gives a good idea for an adventure. This power creates something new for a combat or new for a story I'm making. So the idea was to think about how a DM would enjoy using that monsters as to combat, to challenge players in combat, and also to develop a story around their abilities or things like there is, for example, a penumbral creature that can corrupt people based on greed. So its power is pretty interesting because it develops something very cool for the story that games can use.
Okay. Who was your favorite character, either to design or just in general?
Well, I had the honor to uh, uh, talk and exchange emails with Ed Greenwood as he joined us, and he created a backstory for Viral. Um, and it was really dreamlike to have the opportunity to work on the game design of something wrote by Mr. Ed Greenwood. As like I said, I'm a huge D&D fan, and I am a huge Forgotten Helms fan. Like I know, that I can't say I'm the most knowledge people on the Helms, but I know the Helms pretty well. I DM it in it for like more than half of my life, and it was really amazing to be working on something with my Mr. Head. So I was the I can even say more about that. It's just amazing. It's something I would never thought would be able to happen in my life.
Awesome. What were the main inspiration, or what was the main inspiration for the world of Tenaris?
Interesting. For the RPG, I was part of uh, the team that was deciding things. We had the World of Daenerys from Arena that was conceived by Dan, Alex, and Clayton. When I joined the team for Daenerys Adventures, we discussed a lot because there is many points we need to convert from the original board game to make it a workable world on D&D. So the idea was first, what is new to Daenerys? What's different from Daenerys and the standard words of D&D, like Forgotten Realms, for example? Because we are a high fantasy game, we are a high fantasy scenario, but we needed something that made us unique. So I believe the cornerstone of it all is the themes, the struggle of the world, the empire, in this uh, gray world, this world where there is catastrophes, Moroccan curses, and we develop a way more the story behind the Moroccan curses, creating different levels of Moroccan curses and making it a bit more interesting and usable in a role playing. Because a Moroccan curse that only happened on 3 or 4 times during the story of the world would not be as interesting for an RPG standpoint, as the DM would never really use that. Maybe as a big thing of an overarching campaign, but on the more day-to-day adventuring, that would not happen. So we developed a lot the world, in, then made an amazing job at that, and the entire team discussed ways to make it really feels good to play in an RPG, and I believe we will deliver something great on that aspect.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you.